Welcome everybody to another Friday morning with Extension. We are very happy to have this class and Prestamos joining us for this class. We have been working with many projects together, and the end result has been fantastic. We're helping a lot of small businesses with loans from 2 years ago from PPP, and now working on PPP forgiveness. And we have a lot of talent and a lot of knowledge that we think that can help you regarding effective sales. So let's take it away, Noe. Thank you.
My name is Noe Gonzalez. I'm Senior Business Advisor and Outreach Liaison for CPLC, a division of Prestamo CDFI. My contact information is there. Many people know us because we do small business loans, and we also provide assistance to people that wants to apply for certain grants or business loans, for example, from programs from the SBA and other types of federal, state, or municipal assistance. So feel free to contact me if you need assistance. We also provide technical assistance one-to-one via the SBA Prime program. Next slide, please. The topic for today is effective sales techniques for year 2021. Why I put the year 2021? Well, because we are going to see that this year was different from the rest of the years. Next slide, please. I want you to make notice that this presentation is for informational purposes only and may be out of date at any time. Services, products, individuals, website, any other type of information presented on this presentation is used for informational purposes, and neither Prestamo CDFI nor UNR extension are liable for any of the information presented here. We advise due diligence when making decisions about your businesses. We want to make an invitation to take notes, become an active participant, and if you need a copy of these presentations or the tools that are going to be presented, please send me an email or send an email to the UNR extension, Juan Salas or Reina Mendez. Next slide, please. First of all, so we are going to talk about sales. And the rule number one for sales to happen is to believe that you have the power to make it happen. That is known as empowerment. Every single thing that might happen or might not happen into your business is not because of the government or the weather or the COVID or any other thing. If something might happen or might not happen in your business, is because of you. The small business owner, and especially the salesperson, never plays the role of victim. It also plays whatever cards he or she got on her hand or on his hand, the best he or she can. Next slide, please. Effective sales have to do with interact with people. Every single interaction, either in person or in a virtual environment, is an opportunity to publicize your product or service and generate sales. That's why it's so important that in every opportunity, you share your contact information. Your most powerful weapon nowadays to turn your business visible to the public is your social media, your business cards, and your interaction in the virtual environment. Next slide, please. With the pandemic, there was a shift. We have now a different economy of what we had before the pandemic. We can say, and the economists in general said that we used to have a pre-pandemic economy, then came the critical phase, and then it came the post-pandemic. Next slide, please. Then post-pandemic economy. So there are certain situations that change. I want to mention this. The sales process is something that is especially very, very dependent on the marketing. Sales and marketing at some point are difficult to separate because there is interaction between the two. And for example, in order to make a sale, you need to have a good marketing before. Before the pandemic, for example, we were advertising our businesses in television, radio, magazines, newspapers, flyers. I want to ask our audience, when it was the last time that you grabbed a newspaper to find out a product or service that you needed? Please give me a 5 in the chat if within the last month you have grabbed a single newspaper to find out a product or service that you need. Now, second question. When is the last time you grabbed your cell phone, tablet, computer, or electronic device to look for a product or service, or even to find an address? Please give me a 10 on the chat if you have used your electronic device to find a product or service within the last week. Give me a 20 if you have done so in the last 48 hours. Those are the shifts we are going to talk about. Before the pandemic, we used to go and pay cash everywhere. After the pandemic, credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, electronic transfer, you name it. Before the pandemic, we used to go to the store, shop around, like it, take it, please place it in the back of my car. Nowadays, it's online shopping, browse between different websites, ask my friends on Facebook, check the reviews and the stars, and then we might go to the place and get what we are looking for, or we might ask the store, we might buy online and ask them to send it to our house. And that applies for everything from cars. Now you can buy a car online and they are going to send it to your house, and up to food. You can order, I don't know, half a dozen carne asada tacos with salsa and guacamole, and they are going to deliver to the door of your house. So there is an important thing also. Before the pandemic, the economy was very good, but still we were restricted. For some reason, the consumer side was somehow restricted on pricing. Nowadays, because there is a lot of money in our economy, the federal government, I think, did a great job of stimulating the economy to grow, but at the same time, it put a lot of cash into the system. Now it's creating some inflation. So what is the trend now of many people? Let's going to buy it before it gets more expensive. Take this in consideration because this is going to be part of your sales process. Next slide, please. Those changes are part of your sales process. You need to go back and check your ideal client, because maybe your ideal client changed some of his habits or way to behave during the pandemic. By the way, UNR extension has an excellent video about ideal client and market segmentation. I would appreciate if UNR extension please places the link on the chat so everybody can access that link later on their own time. Next slide, please. So the ideal client equals more or less to the target market. And this is the big question before the pandemic and after the pandemic for everybody. Who is going to buy my product? Who is my ideal client? What the client is looking for? Please give me a 10 on the chat if you have a business and at least once in the last year, you already dedicated some time to work on a worksheet like the one you see on your screen and check what is the behavior. First of all, what is the ideal client? And second, what is the behavior of this ideal client? Because let me give you an example. For example, the clients population in general before the pandemic, we're going a lot to cinema, right? We wanted to go and see the movies in the actual theater. Nowadays, because of the pandemic, many people switch that to get the streaming on whatever platform you might want right there. And instead of buying popcorn, people orders food via delivery service. So if you have a restaurant, for example, and you haven't listed yourself on these delivery services, you might be losing your ideal client, because your ideal client has a completely different behavior that used to have. Sometimes people say, but how come I'm going to give 30% to those delivery companies? It's a lot of, it's going to kill my revenue. It's going to kill my net profit. It won't if you are correct on the next strategy. Next slide, please. And by the way, if you advertise on those companies, sometimes what it does, it gives you exposure to the market, because many people nowadays goes to those websites and tries to check for the reviews of the food to see if it's good or it's bad. Please give me a number 7 on the chat if someone of you have ordered food online within the last 6 months. Now, that means you need, thank you very much. Thank you, Laura. So basically what it means, you need to review your value proposition. Are you adjusting the way you promote, sell, and deliver your product or service to your ideal client? For example, do you offer contactless delivery? Whatever the product is. If you sell food, if you sell clothing, if you sell souvenirs, if you sell cars, whatever is the product, whatever is the service, do you offer contactless delivery? Please give me a 100 on the chat if you have for your business either the option of contactless delivery or contactless payment, if you accept electronic payments. Thank you very much. That 100 is for you, because if you are doing that, you already took advantage of the new economy. So this is the situation. The economy is not going to go back. Once a behavior is changed, it doesn't go back. Next slide, please. So now let's go into the actual topic. Sales are the engine that moves your business. Sales is the remedy to many of the problems of your business, because at some point you might be able to lower the payroll, you may be able to save some money on the power bill if you turn off at night the AC or HVAC heater. You may be able to do so many things. But for example, the rent, it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to be the same every single month. Next slide, please. So sell is the almost universal medicine for everything. So let me ask you the $1 million question, small business owners who already have a sales goal for December. If you already have a sales goal for your small business for this month of December of 2021, please pat yourself in the back, because you are ahead of about 90% of most small business owners that don't have a goal. If not, please get a picture of this screen, or well, we are going to send you a copy of the presentation, but write down. Actually, it's going to take 3 seconds to write down your sales goal for this month of December. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Now you know how much you are going to sell. You know what is your goal. You might reach it or not, but you know what is your goal. Next slide, please. Now,
Noe, quick question.
yes.
Just sometimes it's very difficult to come up with a goal out of the blue or something, you know, if you're not analyzing your past sales or things like that. But I just want to comment that maybe it's not going to be a dollar amount. Maybe it's promotion items. So these many items I want to put on the hands of customers, or something that is measurable and attainable, but doesn't have to be, or does it really have to be a dollar amount all the time? That's a question now.
No, actually, it's an excellent comment, Juan. Thank you very much. And Juan is correct. Sometimes, and especially because inflation, if you, for example, know how much you sold December last year, and hopefully you know, you need to adjust at least that goal to 80% up, because this is the average inflation for the year. Actually, there is some debate right there that some economists might say is less or is more, but adjust at least 10%. So if you are not sure, well, you can say, well, last December I sold 20 cars on my car lot. So this time I'm going to try to sell at least the same amount plus another 2 cars, okay? So now that we are talking about inflation goals, how many of you, the small business owners, already make a price adjustment up, given the fact that most likely in the last 3 months, you have seen an increase on prices of the products or raw materials or services that you buy in order to make your business run? Please give me a 10 if you already did this. If not, we are going to give you a tool right now. Yes, Juan.
Yeah, even gas went up. That's eating up on some basic services. I'm driving around some quotes. No more quotes face to face, maybe through Zoom meeting, but not too much going around and driving. Plus, it's crazy driving now.
I have just a comment. I have a client the other day that we were breaking numbers, and he delivers furniture around the city. And he has been keeping the same price in the last 6-8 months, and he was realizing that his profits are not as high. So the reason for that, as we start analyzing his expenses, was mainly fuel prices. So if you deliver something and you have fuel expense, for sure you need to make this adjustment. Next slide, please.
So we started with your goal, with your sales goal, but just be careful. Maybe that's without a price increase is not going to be a good goal anymore.
Right. So you are completely correct. When this is one of the situations that numbers start getting tricky, because we might have a sales goal, but the situation is, with that sales goal and given the expenses we have, are we making money? Because at the end of the day, yes, we came into business because we love to cook and open a restaurant, or because we love to build houses, and we came with this framing company. But at the end of the day, the main goal of every single small business owner should be to make a profit. We are in business because we want to make a profit. Whatever is the activity is just a vehicle. But the ultimate end is to make a profit, because if we don't not make a profit, we go bankrupt. Am I correct, Juan?
Correct. And Noe, we have yes. And Noe, we have a comment that one person here was hoping to keep the same price so it can be a competitive edge. So I think that is good if you have the proper information and you are sure that you can survive, or you can take that reduction of the profit margin.
Okay, let me share a comment right there, and I appreciate that comment. This is the situation. If you compete on prices, maybe your product is a commodity. And even commodities, you can build value on the commodity to make it more expensive. Let's talk about water, for example. How much is the cost of a glass of water out of the tap? How much is the cost of the same glass of water out of the little mills that sell water right there? Now it's a little bit more expensive. How much is the cost of a glass of water from a little bottle that you buy on one of those wholesale warehouses? And how much is the cost of the same glass of water if it was shipped from an island in the Pacific and comes in a really nice square bottle with a very nice label? Now you are, look, the tap water was fractions of a cent. The bottle of water from the wholesale warehouse was about 40, 50 cents, the bottle. Now you go to the convenience store and you buy this really nice bottle of water that came from an island in the Pacific, and now it's $4. But water is water is water. Yes, the taste, this and that, but they are building value, and most of the value is on the package and the label. Yes, Juan.
Another strategy, I'm a little kind of nerd on this side, but when I go, for example, to the supermarket, me and my son, we like the ice cream sandwiches, you know. So we buy the ice cream sandwiches. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes. So we love those. So we go and buy, and I didn't see any price changes. Same brand, same price, but when I took them home, the sandwiches were smaller. There was less ice cream in those sandwiches. Believe me, I know. I can take the difference. It's not like my son grew up. It's the sandwiches got small. So I kind of realized that yes, that is a strategy. The brand, the quality is the same. The content might be a little less, but the price didn't change. I didn't feel it that way. So maybe I'm eating less calories right now, but my budget didn't get affected. I, as a consumer, didn't feel that price change.
Right. So it's a little bit of a shrinkflation. So basically, if that strategy of reducing prices to keep competitive works for you to make a profit, fine. But my personal recommendation, and again, depends on the business model, is try to build value before you use large prices, because the whole pricing strategy might be already killing your profit. And remember, we are in business because we want to make a profit, and we want to differentiate from the rest of the competitors, and we want to do it better. Take for example, there are restaurants that got drive-thrus. We already tested this with an actual client, and the drive-through, the restaurant with the tacos on the drive-through that sells for $2.25 a taco sell way less than the guy that sells the tacos for $3.50 a taco. Same taco, same meat, everything. Why is that? Because the guy that sells the taco for cheap takes about, and we put the stopwatch to measure time. It took about 7.5 minutes to deliver the order, versus the guy that sells the taco for expensive deliver in only 4 minutes, actually 3 minutes and 50 something seconds. So we are going to talk about that a little bit ahead of the presentation. I just want to share this tool with you. Is this tool, if you send me an email, we can share it with you, is to calculate your profits. You enter the cost of the item you purchase, and then the tool automatically will calculate for you 20% profit, 35% profit, 50% profit, 100%, and 200%. That way you can adjust your price points if you have not done so in the last 3 months. Next slide, please, Juan. Now, effective sales technique number 2. Remember, we are not selling nothing yet. We need the customers to come to our business, because how we are going to sell product or service if the clients are not coming? We need the rule number 1 to sell something is that we need to have a client in front of us, or that access a website, or whatever is the sell method we are going to use. So after adjusting your prices up, not down, we want to have a calendar to capitalize on all the special, on all the holidays and festivities that we have in the United States. Everything from Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, December the 12th for the Latino community, Christmas, New Year's Day, Martin Luther King, you name it. It's an opportunity for you to promote your product and service and say to the clients, hey, we are celebrating December the 12th, or we are celebrating Independence Day with this special promotion. Next slide, please. One. Thank you. So look, we already know who's our client, what the client is looking for. We already adjusted our prices up. So now we are going to, and now we know the key dates, the key holidays on which we are going to advertise. So we have, for example, this e-flyer from a Mexican pizza grill, obviously targeting the Spanish-speaking customers, saying, La Pizza Grill special of Labor Day, 20% discount to present this coupon when we take your order. Now, take in consideration that if you're operating just on price, for example, if you are selling $5 pizzas, and we know that, for example, if you want to do a really, really inexpensive pizza, it's going to cost you, I don't know, maybe $3 at least. And then you are going to sell that pizza for $5. And then can you offer a 20% discount? You can, because then you are going to lower your margin to only $1 per pizza. However, if you already build value on your product and you are selling pizzas for $20 and you advertise 20% discount, 20% out of 20 is $4. So now you can sell it for $16. And even though if the pizza came at a full cost for you of $10, you are still making money. So that's why it's so important to price it right from the beginning, because if you are operating in a very tiny, small profit margins, it's very difficult, extremely difficult to come with promotions and discounts to your clients. Also, Reina Mendez made an excellent comment yesterday about this. For example, you can also do applause. I don't know if Reina, actually I want the actual comment from Reina, because I really like the way she developed the idea yesterday. Go ahead, yes. Reina, please.
Yesterday we were talking about this. We're talking about pricing, right? And all the idea of discounts and all this stuff and how attractive really is for the customers. But sometimes you don't have to go to discount your products. Sometimes you can add an extra value to your products and then keep your price. For example, keep the same price of a particular product, but add a free ebook or add a free something with it, you know, I mean, depending on the product. For example, you're selling, I don't know, a special flour to make pancakes, well, then give away a few pancakes, or I don't know, things like that. So the idea is to not compete by pricing, but compete with something extra, like we call add value to your existing product instead of get a discount. Am I right?
Reina, I have a question for you. If this pizza grill restaurant were yours and you have this flyer in front of you, I'm seeing that delicious ice cream right there. What will you do with? How do you modify this flyer? Instead of offering the 20% discount, what would you do?
Well, you can offer, like I said, you know, it depends, but in the case of the pizza, I mean, you can kind of like add a few ingredients, like you can provide like a little sample of different type of chilies, for example, like, you know, like a different type of chili powder. I don't know, like something that is extra to it, like a new flavor, like a new something that justify you still keeping the price.
Right. Thank you very much, Reina. So actually, Megan already got it. Megan already got your idea. She says, get a pizza buy a pizza regular price and get a dessert for free. So buy your
Yeah.
pizza regular price and get your ice cream for free.
Yes,
right?
because you know what? The ice cream is not an item that you are gonna have constantly, right, in your business. It's the pizza, your main product. So then don't make it look like you're getting your pizzas cheaper, because that's the idea, right? You're making your product look cheaper, and the idea is to make it look like a hefty premium thing, like a hefty premium product, instead of making it look like that you are, that you are like lowering the value of your product. I don't know if that makes sense. It's early morning today.
No,
And
no,
I don't know if
but
that
that's
makes
right.
sense.
That revolves around the concept of building value for the client instead of
Exactly.
thinking about slashing prices. So I'm not
Exactly.
a teacher, but I'm going to give you some homework to all the participants. You don't need to put this on the chat. You can do it on your notebook. Hopefully you got a piece of paper and a pen. What extra service or product or incentive can I offer along my main product to stimulate my client and buy from me? What extra can I offer without slashing any prices? Just offering my main product, and what is the plus I can add to promote my product or service? Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Let's go to move
Thank
on
you.
because the time is after me now. Okay, so see how this is cascading. This is like baking a cake, okay? You need to get the right ingredients together, then you need to blend them right, then you need to take them to the oven, and then after you get the cake out of the oven, you still need it to let cool down a little bit, and then you need the frosting. So it's a process, and it's a very different result if you put the eggs into the cake before, during, or after it went to the oven. So sales is the same, it's a process. So you know your client now, you already have your prices right, you already have your discounts or your extra value right, you have a flyer. Now you need to promote that. You need to put it out there. So nowadays, as we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, almost nobody is looking on newspapers. So probably, not probably, instead of the newspaper, the best idea is to try Google My Business, Facebook Business, Instagram, TripAdvisor, etc. And we need to use the rule of the 20, 30, 50. We are going to talk about later on, but next slide, please. What you are going to do. So what you're going to do is to make those promotions findable. You want to make whatever is your business, whatever is your product, whatever is your service findable. How to know that? How do you know what words the people are using on their cell phones to find you? Well, the easiest to use tool for that, in my experience, is Google Trends. The link is right there on the screen, and this is the way it works. Next slide, please. Basically, you go to Google Trends, you enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, at least 2 words, as many words as you want, and Google is going to tell you who is looking what for. In this example, we have 3 products from a restaurant: tacos, nachos, and burritos. The tacos, nachos, burrito. And then we choose the state of Nevada for the past 7 days, and we are looking for all categories. So that is, we hit enter, and Google is going to tell us that, for example, on May 5th, 2021 at 5 p.m., per every 100 searches on tacos was only 6 on nachos and 12 on burritos. What that means that the people on Google or any other social media, basically around the internet, the people is looking 100 times tacos versus 6 times nachos versus 12 times burritos. So we have the restaurant. Do we want to promote burritos on May the 5th? No, because the people is not looking for burritos. Remember, it's not what we offer in our marketing, is what the potential clients are looking out there into their phones. Every time we enter a word on Google to look for something, Google is going to record that word into an algorithm and is going to figure out how many more people is looking for that. Next slide, please. So after we have that comparison, Google Trends also gives you a breakdown by region. For example, right here, the breakdown came Las Vegas, Reno, and Salt Lake City, Utah. So if you notice, Las Vegas, about 80% of the searches by the people looking into their cell phones or any other electronic device was almost 80%, versus Salt Lake City was only about 60%. And guess what? About 30 something, maybe 35% of people was looking for burritos. So in Las Vegas, for example, if I want to buy words, or I want to advertise myself using organic advertising, I would go for tacos most of the time. If I'm on Salt Lake City, Utah, probably I want to balance a little bit more between tacos and burritos. Next slide, please. So now that we have that, we are going to promote our product or service using those results. Next slide, please. And that's going to generate people now coming to our business to ask for the product and the service. They found us, yes. So now the hard process of selling starts. The neuroscience tells us that there is a rule of 3 seconds. Any prospect in front of you, his brain, her brain, is going to take only 3 seconds to evaluate if wants or doesn't want to do business with you. So that's why it's so important that your business and yourself and everything is visually appealing to that client. You need to make sure that the visual appealing starts with the parking spaces, the sidewalk goes through the doors, the windows, the floors, the personnel, the racks, the gondolas, the counters, the registers, delivery areas, restrooms, everything. Next slide, please. Remember, everything needs to be spotless, clean, and tidy. Why? Because the human brain takes to getting love with environments that are spotless, clean, tidy, and organized. The brain is built to reject and protect itself from spaces, from environments that are disorganized, dirty, and ugly, so to speak. So remember, your product includes the building, the personal appearance of the employees and owners, and the product itself. Probably you have had this same experience that sometimes you go to a restaurant and you see the apron of the person that is taking care of you, and you don't know if you're dealing with a cashier or a mechanic from an auto shop. So it's very important that everything from the building to the personal and the product itself is spotless, clean, and tidy. Next slide, please. Let your business speak for you. These are the pictures. I'm so proud of these pictures because this is a restaurant that in a good day might can close to $4,000 a day in sales. And the bathrooms look like this. The best part, you don't see in the back of the door that collection of autographs stating the uncheck marks that someone supposedly came and cleaned it every single hour. This restaurant operator doesn't need that and is able to keep these bathrooms like that, spotless. And you may ask why? Because there is a culture of spotless all over the store on its employees and the business owner himself. Next slide, please. So now we have a motivated client to buy from you. This is a checklist of visual appealing. I'm not going to go over it. It's going to go along with the recording presentation. You can check later on. Next slide, please. Basically, it's telling you what to do to keep uh, your business attractive to your potential client. Now, 4 basic sales styles. So look all the work you have done, and now you have the client in front of you. And these 4 basic sales styles might apply to almost every product, from houses, cars, janitorial services, construction, everything. Especially if there is involved some contract right there. So the first basic sales style is tell sell. As soon as you have in front of you the client, and you introduce yourself or each other, you start featuring the benefits of the product and service. For example, you can say something like, this product made from a unique ancient plant from the Amazon River that contains phytonutrients, vitamins A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, among other benefits. It softens the skin, removes the stretch marks, wrinkles, dark spots. It is wonderful. Do you want to get 1 or 2 bottles? So remember, this style emphasizes the benefits. With my, I don't know, janitorial services, your office is going to look immaculate to all your clients. Next slide, please. That was just an example. Now, there is another type of client. The client that is always talking about numbers. Oh, it's so expensive. Oh, I cannot afford it. Oh, I don't know if I can pay for that. The second style is the persuasive. That's the salesperson that always carries a calculator with them and uses logical mathematical reasons to make the client buy the product or service. Mr. Client, with only X dollars of initial investment, you will be able to acquire your house, your car, your boat, etc., whatever is the product you are selling. And this will bring you an annual profit of Y dollars or savings or these many dollars per year. In addition, that your family will be very happy in this house, walking, riding this car and sailing this boat. Plus, life jackets are included with the boat for free. Savings of $459 right there. Let it go. Here's the contract and the pen. Please give me your signature. So on those cases, for those clients, they want to see numbers. But remember, this works only if you previously built value on the product or service. So that's why sometimes this is not going to work if you previously did not present it properly, the product or service, and that varies from industry to industry and from product to product. Next slide, please. Are we doing good? Please give me a 10 if we are doing good on the chat. Give me a 5 if I'm not clear enough on this situation. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. We're going for the third style. The tailored solution. This involves a lot of psychology, and you need to be really good at listening to the client. This is contrary, the opposite of the first one. The first one is kind of a hypnotic technique. The client comes in front of you and you start talking, not to stop looking to his or her eyes. That's very important, that you always keep contact with the client, because if you're talking to the client and you are looking somewhere else, the client, the brain of the client is going to set up in alert and is going to most likely reject what you are saying. On this third style, is a little bit different. You don't talk. You let the customer describe the problem and then you sell a tailored solution. That is where the salesperson rule of 90-10 comes. 90%, you let the client talk. It doesn't matter if what the client is saying doesn't make sense. You don't interject the client. You just let it talk and talk and talk. And let's say, for example, that I am an event planner I sell packages for weddings and anniversaries and celebrations. And we have this client right there, and I start asking, okay, yes, I understand. And now please, and if for some reason the client stops talking, you go back with questions to make him talk again and to make him talk again. It's like, okay, Mr. Klein, yes, I understand. And now tell me, please, how many guests do you want at the wedding? And you let him talk. Okay. And you say your mother-in-law doesn't like orchestra music. Oh, okay. I think I understand. And you just said that your mother is allergic to beef, chicken, and pork. No worry, Mr. Klein. We will put together a package of for 500 guests, get a rock band instead of the orchestra, and we are have for the menu salmon and vegan choices. Here's the contract, here's the pen. Now, next slide, please. The collaborative salesperson is a little bit a hybrid of all three styles that I already mentioned. Is going to collaborate with the client to find a solution. There is also a lot of psychology involved here. So every time the client says something, you repeat what the client or prospect said, and you reward it a bit. Phrases we use for that technique is, okay, let me see if I understood what you said. People got allergies. People that is coming to this wedding got allergies to beef, poultry, and pork. Okay, so the situation to solve, you gotta make sure that you understand what is the problem the client is trying to solve. Okay, so the situation you want to solve is that nobody gets an allergy right there, and you need to call 911 in the middle of the wedding celebration. Okay, from what I understand, the possible solution for this situation would not ever, never, ever, under any circumstance when you are selling to a client, use the word problem. If you can take just a single useful thing from this presentation is that when you are in hard sales trying to sell something, never for any circumstance use the word problem, because immediately the brain is going to get defensive. Again, it's a lot of psychology. It's like if I say, okay, participants, please do not think about a slice of a chocolate cake with a cherry on top. What your brain did. Most of you, most likely what it happened, the brain immediately get you in front mentally the image of a slice of chocolate cake with a cherry on top. So after we've been repeating what the client says, we understood the problem, and we are going to say something like, okay, from what I understand, the possible solution for this situation is number one, smoked salmon and steamed veggies. Number two, fish and chips. Or three, vegan tofurkey with Asian salad. Which one do you want me to include in the package? Next slide, please. Give me a 9 if you think I did good with this, explaining this. Give me a 0 if I just talk and nobody understood anything.
I think I'm following perfectly, but what about if somebody can give you like a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4? Which technique they identify themselves even better? No, I think I'm a little bit between 3 and 4, between those two. So
Okay.
if you wanna, share it with us, what kind of technique you are, yeah, that helps.
Okay, and those that already identified their style, please reinforce it. Please reinforce it. Try to incorporate the other 3 styles and see which one might work. Next slide, please. So now, this is the situation. All the theory that you just received, it has a complement, which is the psychological hook. So remember the rule of the 3 seconds. The client has 3 seconds, the brain of the client has 3 seconds to see if wants or doesn't want to do business with you. But this is one thing that really works. This is from neuroscience, okay? This is not from me. Studies demonstrate that if you smile a client, you have more chances to sell the product than if you are serious about the client. How may I help you? So you told me what is the problem? So somebody got an allergy right there versus, okay, so you told me there is a situation right there. And okay, and somebody got allergies. Oh, I understand. Okay, so let me provide you with a possible solution. See how different it is? Professional salespeople train themselves to greet prospects with a smile as soon as they make eye contact with them. So don't wait for the middle of the presentation to start smiling to the client. As soon as, good morning, Mr. So how are you? Welcome to my business. Yes, Juan.
And the Grammy goes to Noé Gonzalez.
Let it go. Next slide, please. I need to accelerate this. Okay, so I'll give you some techniques, some tricks about psychology. Always try to give away samples to your prospects. Why? Because that is the psychology of in-depthness. Big coffee chains know that. That's why if you are a coffee lover like myself, and you are frequently on those big chain coffee shops, when they come with a new product, for example, with a new cake, they come to you while you are sitting drinking your coffee and they give you a sample. They don't ask, would you like to try your sample? They are like, this is the sample of our new pumpkin spicy cake. I'll leave it right here so you try it. So try to figure out what kind of sample can you give away to your client, even if it's just a flyer or a nice design or a micro sample of what you sell. Try to do that always. Next slide, please. Put your product or service in the hands of your client. Sensory stimuli, make it theirs. The human brain, when you give the client something on their hand, you put it on their hands, immediately the brain takes ownership of that product or service. So you don't just tell them, hey, this car is amazing, has a really good engine, the transmission is amazing. No. Here are the keys, Mr. Klein. Let's go to ride around the block so you can feel how good this car runs. Next slide, please. Try, before attempting to close, take 3 yes from the client. Okay. Oh, so you told me somebody got allergies right there. Yes. Oh, and you told me that you don't like orchestra on your party. Yes. And you told me that you would like to have a vegetarian menu. Yes. So after you have the 3 yes, then okay, I have the solution. Would you want me to get the product, the package ready right now, or would you like to sign in black ink or blue ink? I'm just kidding, but something like that. Next, no, the next technique, give the client the choice to buy or the choice to buy. Is not, if you are selling, for example, in a restaurant, hamburgers, is not, oh, do you want a soda also? No, is, do you want me to serve you a Coke or a Pepsi? If you are a real estate agent, do you want me to put the offer to the house on Main Street or the one on Downtown Avenue? Sir, your fries will be medium, large, or super size. Miss, do you want to test drive the pickup with the regular or upholstery, or you want to try the one with leather bucket seats? Never ask the client if he wants to buy. Give him the choice of what you want to buy, the package for 50 people or the package for 100 people. Next slide, please. Okay, the closing sell technique is now or never. I'm very sorry, client, but if you cannot take this beautiful chisel silver necklace today, our 20% discount promotion will expire today, and we won't have it on a special again in the whole year. Oh, our pumpkin spice latte tomato coffee is a limited edition. Enjoy while supplies last. If you don't take the opportunity today, I'm afraid that you will lose it forever. Interest rates have never been so low, and this is a unique property. You will never see another opportunity like this in a lifetime. Might not be true, but you are trying to sell, right? Next slide. Clients, this is important. Clients do not listen what you say. Instead, they tend to imitate what you do. So after you got the verbal commitment of, yes, I want your product and service, and a visa contract, what you need to sign, instead of giving, let's say this is the contract, instead of giving the contract to the client, what you do, okay, we have a deal. So you shake his hand, you grab your own pen, you sign the contract, and then you turn the contract towards the client and put the pen in front of the client without saying a word. What is going to happen is that the client is going to follow behavior. Thank you very much, Marcel, for having with you and for your compliments, for being with us and for your compliments. Next slide, please. Okay, so you already closed the deal. Now, this is the situation. Studies show that the clients nowadays, they are about convenience. So as soon as you get the contract, as soon as you get the order on the register, you need literally to run to deliver. Convenience in time and distance is often the #1 factor for your prospect to decide if whether or not to buy from your business. Just take in consideration this. People prefers to pay higher prices from those big mega warehouses if they are going to deliver in 24 hours versus getting the same product for a cheaper price if they wait a week. So all the work you did right now to sell your product or service, make sure you deliver yesterday, as soon as possible. Next slide, please. Try to take advantage to strategic alliances with other partners that might help you to promote your products and services, basically getting the buzz. Yes, this guy delivers great, amazing products and services, and guess what? He delivers just on time. Next slide, please. They deliver immediately. We are going to close the presentation with this because it's 10 o'clock. Basically, after you make a sale, you want to publicize that into your social media, trying to follow the rule of the 20, 30, 50. 20% promotion with coupons and flyers, 30% pictures of your product saying, trying not to sell it, you saying it's an amazing product, and 50% about your clients acquiring your product or service. Next slide, please. People use their cell phones only 4 times a day. #1, when they wake up early in the morning. #2, when they have a break. #3, when they are sitting in the bathroom, in the toilet. And #4, when they go to sleep at night. So to make a social media campaign work, you need to publicize every single day, at least once a day. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So this is the 20, 30, 50% rule. 20% sales, discounts, coupons, specials. Next slide. 30% nice pictures of your product or service. There is a class also on extension for that. 50% pictures of your clients consuming your product or service. Let's go to see a couple of examples. Next slide, please. This is one I love. This is an actual client of ours that sells cowboy boots and clothing. So this is a posting on November 6th. Cowboy boots for dad, cowgirl boots for mom, cowboy boots for baby. Thank you. It was a real pleasure helping you. Have fun in your coming event. So basically, this is very effective. After you sell the product or service, ask the client, would you allow me, Mr. Client, Miss Client, to take a picture of you to upload it into my Facebook business? Oh, that's right. That's excellent observation, Walter. Next slide, please, one. Texanas, Texanas, and more Texanas. We are receiving a great selection of Texanas. This one is wearing the Texana. I mean the hat. Next slide.
In the other photo was the baby was wearing the hat.
Right.
The baby was wearing that.
This is promoting a hat. This is a hat Mexican Federation of Torreria IC 30X solid 2x2, wing 4 1/4 inches, I guess. The cup extraordinary hat. Next slide. This is also promoting product. 100% leather, 100% beautiful, will match belt 100%. Perfect. Next slide. Ajá. In Spanish, lo que está de moda, want to wear now. This is an actual client of that store. Next slide, please. So this is the one I love because the client says, look, I asked this client, I'm sorry, miss, now you finished your shopping. Would you allow me to take a picture for our Facebook business? And my client said, look, the lady, the young girl, didn't even say yes or no. She just put the hand on her waist, smiled to my cell phone, and posed for the picture. I want to close this presentation with this because we already went 4 minutes over. This is the big trick for your social media to work. I hope I don't break the heart of no one on this presentation. Clients don't care about your product or service. I'm sorry to say that, that's the truth. They don't care about your product or service. They care about using your product or service as a background to get status, get a picture, and get admired by their social network online. That's the whole psychology of the social media. It's not about the product. It's about the client saying, look, I came to this store and look how I look.
Yeah.
See? And I want your likes and your shares. And this strategy for this particular client has been so amazing. Thank you very much. I think we can go to the last slide from here. Yes, Reina, this is your one back before. One back. This is your action plan. You can take a picture or a screenshot. Yes, Reina.
No. Just go ahead.
You just want to let you know, all the information you received today makes sense only if you implement at least two of the items. But this is the whole workflow. Number one, identify your ideal client. Number two, develop and adapt your value proposition to the post-pandemic. Number three, set up your monthly sales goal. Number four, adjust your prices up, of course, no down. Number five, develop your promotion calendar for the year. Number six, design your promotional material. Number seven, use Google Trends to make your business easy to find. Number eight, I think, apply the rule of the 3 seconds. Number nine, implement promotional strategies involving samples, encouraging the prospect to wear your product on model behavior. Number nine, incorporate convenience to your sales strategy. And number 10, use in your favor the rule of the 20, 30, 50.
Well,
that was it. Thank you very much. Yes,
I just gonna say that you guys came for 5 techniques and you deliver like 10 or 12. That's great premium right there.
Actually, yes, a good salesperson always brings the client, telling him he's going to get a little bit and make sure the client gets way more what it was promised. That's why when we go and buy a brand new car, we went for the car, right? But we drive out of dealership with a new car, with a complete insurance package, with a complete maintenance package. Even we drive out even with the license plates paid already. So we
Yes.
promised 5 effective sales technique. We delivered 14. What a
Yeah.
bargain.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you, Noe. Thank you for coming. I don't know if the audience has more questions. You can post it on the chat. This video is being recorded, so you're going to be able to have access to it in our virtual classroom, where we have another classes too, and you can navigate there. And I don't know if there's more questions, but Noe, there was a great class. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your collaboration. Thank you very much. I hope this was a great webinar for you guys.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions in the chat by any chance?
No,
No.
we don't have any questions, but hopefully we can take advantage of these few days of December.
Just one
start-
question. No,
Yes.
if they want to get the slides, they can send you an email, right?
Yes, send me please an email, and we share the slides, and we are going to share the tools also, the calculation tool and everything.
Okay.
Whatever you need, I'll send also copies to you and to extension. And very important, please check the video after it's going to get it published, I think in 2 weeks or so. That way you can have it as a reference, because the brain only learns something, it gets exposed to the information at least 3 times.
Yes.
On my side, that was it. Thank you very much. In the name of Preston CDFI, the Division of Chicanos por la Causa, we appreciate and we say thank you to UNR Extension, Juan, Reina, Mike, all the team behind this production, and especially thank you very much to all the small business owners and officials that have been with us today. The way for you to say thanks to us is to increase your sales and be more profitable. Please be successful. That's our goal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Noe. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.